Lahat ay nakapag-submit na. So, type down lang po so that we can proceed po sa ating next module. Alright, so thank you so much po everyone. Let's proceed na po sa ating first module. So this will be, we will be having the OSH legislation for the private sector and to be followed by a OSH program development and to be discussed by Engineer Vladimir M. Pantilio, Senior Labor and Employment Officer, Labor Inspector of the Department of Labor Employment, Region 6. Good afternoon po, Engineer Vlad.
Good afternoon, Sir Martin. Good afternoon, participants. All right. So anyway, I will be discussing the two topics, no? Siguro unahin ko na lang po muna yung OSH programming and we will just have a break, maybe 5 to 10 minutes and then we follow the OSH legislation. And if ever po during my discussion, meron po tayong mga question, i-take down na lang po muna natin at saka mamaya po after my discussion sa OSH legislation, we will be raising yung mga questions po natin. I will be entertaining questions regarding my two topics. Okay lang po ba 'yon? All right. Share screen. Ayan, nakikita nyo na ba yung presentation po natin sa screen nyo po? Sir Martin, paki-assist.
Naka-black screen po yata, Engineer.
Oh, see. Ito
Kita
na.
po ba, mga ma'am and sir, yung screen?
Stop
Engineer?
share muna ako.
Reshare nyo lang po ulit, Engineer.
Ayan, okay na.
Ayan, kita na po, Engineer. Okay na po.
Yan.
Full screen na lang po ako, Engineer.
Ayan, okay na?
Ayun. Yes po, Engineer. Thank you.
Sige. So, anyway, good afternoon ulit lahat ng mga participants. So, second day, magtatapos na tayo ng training natin. So, anyway, in advance, congratulations, Future Safety Officer 2. After this training, you will be certified Safety Officer 2 na ng inyong mga respective companies. So, ito po, yung unang first topic po natin ay Development of an Occupational Safety Annual Program. Kung paano po tayo gumawa ng Safety Annual Program in our company, no? And paano natin yun isasubmit sa DOLE office for evaluation. So, bago po tayo pumunta sa sa topic discussion po natin, may mga ipapakita lang po akong images po sa inyo. These are the inspections conducted. Yung iba po ako po mismo yung nag-inspection nito para po pampagising po sa atin, no. Ang una pong accident investigation po natin, ito po ay nangyari doon po sa Iloilo kasi po dati na-assign po nagtagal po ang assignment ko doon sa sa Iloilo bago po ako nilipat dito sa Negros Occidental, specifically in Bacolod. So itong accident na to is nangyari doon sa Pasig City, no, Halao River. Ang activity po is quarrying, no, ng sand, sand quarrying malapit po sa Lao River, no? Hindi po siguro natansya nung backhoe operator ang ang kinatatayuan ng backhoe nag-give in at saka yung bako is nahulog mismo doon sa sa ilog. So ang nangyari is namatay si bako operator not because of nadaganan or naipit sa bako but because of drowning. Nalunod po yung bako operator kasi po hindi po agad nakapag-exit dito po sa cabin po ng bako operator. So naidala pa naman siya sa hospital but he was declared dead on arrival, no? Ang sanhi po ng kanyang pagkamatay is nalunod, hindi po nadaganan or naipit nitong bako na to. And second accident investigation, ang activity po dito is installation of billboard. Mababa lang, almost 6 feet lang. Kaya lang itong worker na nakatayo dito, may panel niyan dito na tinatatayuan ng nag-i-install na worker. Ang nangyari, na outbalance si worker, walang safety harness, namatay. No, nahulog, yung yung ulo niya is nabagok doon dito sa gutter ng street na to, no? Yun, automatic patay din si worker. Ito isa one of my inspection din sa Iloilo. Ang activity naman dito is, siguro alam nyo to, ang tawag dito is grinder, no? Sa mga meat shop, no? Nagbibenta ng mga karne. Aside from this, meron pang isang operating machine. Yun yung cutting machine na kinakat yung yung mga karne doon. Pero ang nangyari dito sa activity na to, sa accident na to, siguro, no? Tinry nung worker kung ano yung mas matigas, yung kamay ba niya o itong spatula na ginagamit as pusher doon sa meat para i-grind yung meat na yon. So ang nangyari, putol lahat, apat niya na fingers, no? Na ginawa niyang pang push doon sa karne. And during my conduct of inspection, siyempre wala na doon yung mismong worker na nabiktima. Ang andun pa siya sa hospital, may kasama siyang isang worker. Sorry. So may kasama siyang isang worker. Ang nangyari, during my interview doon sa worker, huli ko lang na-notice na tinatago niya yung isa niyang kamay. Yun pala, no? Nakita ko rin na doon sa sa workplace na yun, yung kasamang worker na nang aksidente is nagka-aksidente na rin 2 years before pa mangyari yung accident na yun. So ang nangyari, parang precedence na siya. So yun yung iniiwasan natin, yun yung pinaka-purpose, kami po sa DOLE as inspector, no. Anyway, I'm one of the inspectors, kami po yung mga pumapasok sa mga establishment ninyo para mag-conduct ng inspection, no. In verification for the compliance of, ng dalawang aspects. Una, the General Labor Standard, at saka yung pangalawa ito, under the Occupational Safety and Health Standards. So yun na nga, doon ko lang na-discover na 2 years ago, doon naman sa cutting machine na aksidente yung isang worker na in-interview ko. So yun nga, during the conduct of our accident investigation, ang pinaka-purpose namin talaga as inspector is to dig up the root cause bakit nangyari yung accident na yon. Yun yung pinaka-objective po natin. Kaya lang yung ibang mga establishment, especially the employer, when we are conducting investigation, kaming mga inspectors natatakot, hindi nakikipag-operate doon sa sa inspector na nag-investigate. Hindi kasi nila masyadong naintindihan na the purpose why we conduct accident investigation is ito, para ma-dig up natin ang root cause, ano ba yung pinagmula ng aksidente para maiwasan natin ang precedence of accident o yung tinatawag na same accident na pwedeng mangyari in the future, no? Yun po yung pinaka-purpose ng accident investigation po natin. At ito, isa pa sa mga accident na na nangyari din sa Iloilo. Siguro alam tong lahat, no, ng taga Iloilo, no? Regarding the chorizo incident, no? This is homemade chorizo, no? And during this time, after this accident happened, yung negosyo po regarding sa pagbibenta ng ng chorizo is nag-back down, not only in Iloilo but also in the nearby provinces, no? Cebu and even Negros affected. Kasi sabi nila, yung mga chorizo daw na binibenta na during that time is may karne na ng tao. But anyway, na kinuha itong yung worker na to, no, dito sa mismo sa chorizo machine, wala pong sugat yung worker. Mga bruises lang. Ang kinamatay din dito is suffocation. Hindi kasi nagputol-putol yung mga mga bones niya o mga laman niya, but suffocation din kasi may laman pa ito na mga mga previous mga chorizo na itong machine na to, kaya na-suffocate yung worker. And lastly, itong accident na to. This accident is considered as the most fatalities work-related accident. Nasunog po siya. Siguro nabalitaan natin to way back 2015, itong Kentex tragedy. Isa po siyang rubber factory, pagawaan ng tsinelas. Just try to imagine, sa harap mo, masunugan ka ng isang tsinelas, di ba? Ang sakit na sa ilong. How much more if maraming tsinelas at mismo ang factory mismo ng tsinelas ang masunog. So, ang pinaka-problem dito, kung makikita nyo, itong entrance na to, ito yung entrance. Kasi sa second floor sila ang factory. Parang stock room na dito sa baba. So, ang nangyari dito sa may nung naapula na ang apoy, most of the persons or workers dito po nakita, no? Nag-stampede po sila. Ay, excuse po muna ha. Para may tumatawag eh. Oh no. Kita na ba ulit, participants? Sir Martin?
Yes po, engineer, kita po. Kaso hindi po naka-full screen.
Ayan, full screen na ba? Hindi pa.
Hindi pa rin po, engineer.
Wait ha. I-stop share ko muna. May tumawag eh. Ayan, okay na ba? Sir,
Yes po, engineer. Okay po.
Sir Mark, sige. So continue, no? So itong Kintex tragedy, yun nga, ang pinaka problema dito is isang entrance lang at saka isang exit lang yung building na to. Kaya after the fire na natapos na, lahat ng mga workers is nagka-stampede dito sa area na to, no? Yun yung pinaka problema. Ang fire was nag-start po siya because of the welding activity na walang hot work permits. So yun. So when it comes may mga activities tayong ganyan, especially mga welding jobs kahit maliit lang, dapat process natin talaga at i-practice ang hot works permits. So bakit ko ito pinapakita sa inyo? Yun nga sabi ko kanina, these hours, no? Ito talaga yung mga nap time ng mga workers. Kung minsan naiidlip, no? Yung iba na nga siguro naantok. So yun. At saka if we are not properly implementing kung ano man yung OS program na ating gagawin, it might be na itong mga accidents na to ay pwedeng mangyari sa ating mga respective workplaces. Okay? So proceed tayo sa pinaka-topic natin talaga. Objectives natin for this session, no, itong OS programming. Number 1, no? Identify the elements needed in the successful implementation of OS program. Kung ano ba yung mga elements, no, included in our OS program. Determine the commitment and participation of various levels of the organization in implementing the OS program, especially the commitment of our employer or the top management in our respective companies. And identify the company resources needed to develop and implement an OS program. Anyway, this OS program, after this training, sasabihin ko na sa inyo, ang bilis lang at ang hindi mahirap gawin mamaya after this training. No? Okay? So what is a safety program? No? A safety program is a systematic plan to identify and control hazards and respond to emergencies. No? Kung nakikita nyo dyan sa screen ninyo, may tatlo tayong words na naka-attach dito sa safety program. And these words, una, identify. Ano ba yung i-identify natin? No? Naturuan na tayo mag-conduct ng HIRAC or hazard identification, risk assessment, and control. No? So ang identify natin, it could be hazard, risk, or imminent danger. And the second word is control. Ano ba yung i-control natin? Siyempre, yun din yung hazard, yung risk, at saka imminent danger. At na learn na rin natin itong hierarchy of control. Again, ano nga yung hierarchy of controls? Una, engineering control. Pangalawa is administrative control. And if we cannot apply these first two control, no, or controls which is the engineering and the administrative control, doon napapasok na wala na tayong choice but to ibigay ang last defense natin, which is the provision of personal protective equipment or PPEs. No? Identify and control hazards and respond to emergencies. No? Na-lecture na rin siguro sa atin. Anyway, this topic, itong dalawang topics to is just a summary ng mga previous from D1 ninyo na training until today, no? Parang summary lang siya, no? And respond to emergencies kasi kahit anong igtin pa natin, no? Or anong strict pa natin in implementing our occupational safety and health standards or program sa ating mga workplace, may mga lumulusot talaga na mga minor injuries, minor accidents. Kaya doon na rin papasok yung mga emergencies natin or emergency plan. Especially, meron ding mga emergencies na, kumbaga, hindi natural, like mga act of nature, meron tayong mga lindol, baha, typhoon. So, dapat lang din na included in the safety program our emergency plans. No? Doon, kalakip din yun sa safety and health program. And the safety program, it lists out responsibilities, resources, and procedures for keeping the workplace safety and healthy. So paano natin malalaman na effective ang safety and health programs na ini-implement natin sa ating mga respective companies or workplace? Number 1, it reduces the extent and severity of work-related injuries and illnesses. No? Bumababa na ang mga records ng mga accidents, injuries dun sa company natin. That is why we are required to submit itong EEDR or Annual Exposure Data Report, no? Na sinasubmit natin on or before every February 20 of the year, no? So from term pa lang na Annual Exposure Data Report, ibig sabihin isang beses lang tayo mag-submit in every year, no? Yung Annual Exposure Data Report. Kasi dito natin nakikita at dito tayo nag-a-apply ng computation natin ng severity severity rate at frequency rate, no? It also improves employee morale and productivity, no? Kung safe ang ating workplace, no? Siyempre, magiging effective tayo, magiging productive tayo at ipagkakalat pa doon natin sa mga ibang tao na sa pinagtatrabahuhan ko walang accident na nangyayari, no? Ikaw kaya kung may palaging accidents na nangyayari sa iyo, ikaw as worker doon sa worksite ninyo, proud ka ba na sabihin na last year or last month lang may accidents na nangyari doon sa area namin? Siyempre, hindi mo na minsan nag-out of focus na tayo pag ganun yung nangyayari at nagiging unproductive na tayo kasi yung mindset natin mag-iingat tayo, no? Kasi baka next time tayo na yung ma-aksidente doon sa workplace na parang halos every month na lang may record of accident, no? So yun, it improves moral, no? Employees moral and productivity. And also, it reduces workers compensation costs, no? Doon sa pag in case may mga accidents or may mga injuries na nangyayari, siyempre kung walang accidents or injury, nababawasan din yung mga cost natin when it comes to occupational safety and health standards. Now, safety and health program criteria, ano ba ang dapat laman ng ating safety and health program? Unang-una, workplace specific, andito nakalagay lahat ng mga specific information, no, ng ating establishment, no, pangalan ng establishment, address ng establishment, no, yun, lahat ng mga infos or mga specific regarding that workplace or establishment, andun yun. Mga unang page yun ng ating safety and health program. Have commitment from the employer and senior management. Ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina, na pagbalik nyo in your respective na mga workplace or establishment or companies, ang pinakaunang challenge ninyo as assigned safety officer to is makuha yung commitment ng inyong employer or ng inyong top management. Kasi mapupunta lang din sa wala if in case walang support o walang commitment from the top management ang inyong ini-implement na mga safety and health program. Ganun talaga yung mangyayari, no? Have input from the workers. Bakit kailangan pa? Kailangan pang kumuha ng mga inputs, ideas sa mga workers. Kasi yung mga workers, sila mismo yung involved or engaged doon sa specific job na yon, kung hazard man ba yun o hindi. Kaya it is good na kuha din tayo ng mga ideas and inputs nila on how to avoid this hazard or to control this hazard para maiwasan po natin yung mga accidents sa workplace. Assign clear responsibilities and accountabilities, especially to the members of our safety and health committee, no? Anyway, ang pinaka rule natin doon sa sa safety and health committee, we are as assigned safety officer, we are the secretary ng safety and health committee. Tagagawa tayo ng minutes, ng reports, at saka one of the responsibilities na rin natin as assigned safety officer is yun nga, mag-submit ng ng mga reports doon sa DOLE office, no? So each of program elements must be in writing, dapat lang, and must be addressed the safety of health and health of the contractors. So kayo as employer or the main principal, no, ng isang workplace, at saka may mga engaged kayo na subcontractors and contractors doon sa site ninyo or sa workplace ninyo, dapat i-cover nyo rin na ipa-under yung mga agency workers, contractor workers, doon sa general safety and health program nyo or sa corporate safety and health program ninyo ng inyong company, no? Included po ang agency workers or contractor workers sa inyong safety and health program. Be available and effectively communicated and have an evaluation mechanism, no? Kailangan ding i-evaluate from time to time itong mga ginawa nating safety and health program. Now, role of the management in safety programming, no? Yun na kanina ang nasabi na natin na dapat makuha natin yung support at commitment ni top management kasi sila yung may control over the employees or the workers, no? Sila yung tutulong sa inyo, tutulong sa mga safety officer, and at the same time, kayo rin as safety officer ang tutulong doon sa top management na mag-comply ng ating standards or compliance for the safety of the workers. Employee involvement naman, no? Sinasabi dito na dapat management, commitment, and employee involvement are complementary. Anong ibig sabihin ng complementary? Hindi pwede isa lang, dapat dalawa. Dalawa sila. Merong management commitment and at the same time, ini-involve din o ini-engage din yung mga workers natin. Kasi wala ding mangyayari if full tayo of management support and commitment pero hindi naman natin napapasunod yung mga workers or co-workers natin sa ating mga area or sa ating mga workplace as a safety officer. So dapat, yun nga ang challenge, paano mo makomplement yung management commitment and the involvement of the employee sa nasasakupan mo o sa workplace wherein ikaw yung assigned na safety officer. Safety and Health Committee, na-discuss na sa inyo to, pasadaan na lang natin. ang lahat ng mga responsibilities ng Safety and Health Committee, no? Anyway, yun nga, your purpose or your role dito sa Safety and Health Committee as a safety officer, kayo po yung secretary ng Safety and Health Committee. No? OSH framework, no? OSH policy, no? Meron tayong dito 6 na aspects, no? Hindi na tayo natin thoroughly discuss, but pasadahan na lang natin yung mga aspects na to or mga areas na ito in the OSH policy. So ano ba ang safety policy, no? Yun yung tanong. A document stating the following: the top management safety objective, ano yung pinaka-objective ng company natin? The level of safety that can be performed by the organization and the responsibility of the organization members, no? Andon or dito nakalagay sa safety policy na to. At wag mabahala sa kung paano gumawa o gawin itong safety policy na to. Screenshot lang, meron na tayong sample dito, sample corporate OSH policy. Pero kung screenshot nyo naman, sana pag nag-submit kayo sa DOLE office, wag naman sana na pati pangalan nitong nung company makopya ninyo ha, at saka yung general manager. Baka lagay nyo rin doon EBC Corporation, yung name ng establishment ninyo, di kaya si Juan de la Cruz din ang general manager, no? So this is just a sample ng corporate OSH policy. Strategies to involve workers, no? Workers should know their roles in the safety and health program, including their rights and responsibilities. Now, ang tanong ko sa inyo, alam ba natin kung ano yung 4 basic rights ni workers when it comes to OSH or occupational safety and health standards? No? Mamaya isa-isahin natin yan discuss under sa next topic sa OSH legislation, no? I-discuss natin ito lahat. Under the DO 198, section 5, 6, 7 and 8, it speaks about itong 4 na 4 basic rights ni workers. Kung pinag-uusapan is the occupational safety and health standards, no? Mamaya itatackle natin 'yan. Consultations directly between the employer and workers, yun na nga yung na-mention natin kanina na dapat complement din, no? The management commitment and involvement ni workers. So from time to time, kumukuha rin tayo ng ideas, no? Mga inputs nila between the employers at saka yung mga workers. Requiring and encouraging workers to report safety and health concerns promptly. Pero ang nangyayari, in reality, real talk, no? Natatakot si worker mag-report if may accident na nangyari sa worksite. Bakit? Ano ang mindset ni worker? Ang mindset ni worker, takot siyang mag-report ng accident na nangyari doon sa worksite niya kasi ang pagkakaalam niya, the next day, wala na siyang trabaho. Tama hindi? No? Ganun yung nangyayari. Takot mag-report si worker ng mga accident sa worksite or sa company kasi nga takot rin na mawalan ng trabaho. Which is hindi rin namin ma-blame yung mga workers na ito kasi nga meron din silang interest na pinoprotect nila, and that is na hindi mawalan ng trabaho. So, but anyway, yun nga, one of 4 basic rights na sinasabi natin kanina ni workers is to report accident. Karapatan ni worker mag-report ng accident. Mamaya i-discuss natin kung paano mag-report ng accident, no? Encouraging workers to suggest improvements in the safety and health program. 'Yun na nga, no? Kasi sila yung involved doon mismo sa specific job na 'yon, kung ano man yung job na 'yon or work na 'yon, if may hazard ba or imminent danger, sila mismo yung unang nakakakita kasi nga sila yung engaged or involved doon sa job na 'yon. No? Systems to control hazard, alam na ninyo to, unsafe condition and unsafe act, no? Or unhealthy condition and unhealthy acts. At saka ito rin, system to control hazard, no? Engineering control, administrative control, and PPE, no? Pasadahan na lang natin kasi alam ko perfect nyo na to. Mamaya or bukas baka perfectin nyo na yung post-test na ibibigay sa inyo ng OSH. No? So, isa nga sa mga aspects or sa areas ng OSH policy natin, pasadahan lang natin, no? Unang-una dito, number 1 is safety, control, and emergency preparedness. So again, nakapag-discuss na ng emergency preparedness at saka under din dito, housekeeping, material handling and storage, electrical safety, machine guarding, list of PPE, at etc. Lahat ng mga nakatalaga dito is under at this aspect ang safety control and emergency preparedness nitong OSH policy. The need for emergency preparedness, no? So basahin ko lang. The importance of an effective workplace safety and health program cannot be overemphasized. There are many benefits such as program including increased productivity, improved employee morale, no? Reduce absenteeism and illness. However, incidents still may occur in spite of efforts to prevent them. Therefore, proper planning for emergencies is necessary to minimize employee injury and property damage, no? In short, no? Kahit na meron pa tayong strict implementation ng safety and health program, we are still required na dapat meron tayong mga emergency plan na nakalista or na put into writing if in case na mangyari itong mga emergencies na to, mag-occur itong emergencies na to, meron na tayong basihan, may guidelines na tayo kung ano yung mga gagawin natin dito sa mga specific emergencies na to, no? Aside from this safety program, anyway, itong emergency preparedness is nakakalakip din, no? Dito sa OSH program na gagawin po natin, no? So ito yung mga elements ng emergency preparedness program, and I believe na discuss na po ito sa inyo, no, ng ating previous mga speakers, no? Review hazards, evaluate resources, develop emergency plan and procedure, conduct training, conduct drills, educate the public, and integrate with the community plan. Ito yung pinaka-elements ng ating emergency preparedness plan or program. Now, punta tayo sa industrial hygiene program. Dito naman, if involved tayo sa mga toxic chemicals, no, or mga chemicals, ang importante lang, if may mga chemicals tayo, is ito nga, no, itong proper storage or materials handling natin. And usually, these mga toxic chemicals, especially if na-assign tayo sa sa mga hospitals, laboratories, may laboratories, no, dapat may proper material handling tayo at saka storage procedures. Ang pinaka-importante lang tayo is dito, when it comes to storage nitong mga chemicals, is yung tinatawag na MSDS, no? Ano ba yung MSDS? Material Safety Data Sheet, no? Dapat kung saan man naka-stored yung mga yung mga chemicals na diyan, andyan din nakapaskil yung ating MSDS or the Material Safety Data Sheet, or sometimes nililabel yun as SDS, no? Or Safety Data Sheet, no? Ganun yung sana yung yung pinaka natin way paano mag-storage ng mga chemicals na to, especially to toxic chemicals. Occupational health program, kaya nga tinawag safety, occupational safety and health program. Kasi hindi lang tayo magfo-focus doon sa safety, but also in the occupational health program. Kaya yung nangyayari, yun nga, before pa ng hiring or employment, pa lang, no, process or before the hiring, yun nga minsan yung mga HR natin nagre-require doon sa papasok na mga workers or sa bagong i-employ na workers na merong medical certificate, merong drug test, no? O may X-ray yun. Kasi nga dapat if you are working, dapat hanapan ka rin ng HR ninyo ng fit to work o meron tayong medical certificate, no? Andun din yung ibang mga companies, aside from SSS, PhilHealth, no? Nagpapa-member pa dito sa HMO, no? Minsan, pero tandaan rin natin, this HMO, hindi natin pwedeng ipilit sa worker. This is voluntary in nature, no? Hindi ipilit sa worker. So, at this area, dito rin tayo nagsasubmit ng ating mga reports, no? Isa na dito yung annual medical report. Aside sa na-mention ko na kanina na annual exposure data report, andito rin yung annual medical report, no? Na sinasubmit din natin on or before every March 20 of the year, no? Itong annual medical report. At makikita nyo yan sa form, merong form kasi na nire-required na yun ang gamitin ninyo para isubmit sa DOLE office, no? May nakikita doon, sa last portion na doon, meron doon nakalagay medical personnel, no? And it must be signed or nung assigned ninyo or ng retainers na physician, not the safety officer or the nurse. Dapat ang nakapirma doon sa medical personnel doon sa annual medical report, doktor, at attach yung kanyang PTR, no? Yun po yung tatandaan natin in submission of annual medical report. Environmental protection and community relations, no? Especially if we are sa mga planta, manufacturing, no? Hindi lang pinoprotektahan natin yung workers na andun sa loob or nasa premises ng workplace or ng planta, but also the nearby community, no? May mga community diyan malapit sa planta na yan o manufacturing na yan, no? Inaalagaan din natin yung mga safety nila. Sometimes yung ibang mga malalaking company, may mga binibigay na privilege doon sa malapit na community sa planta nila. And of course, under din sa DENR, no, Engineering Management Bureau, nire-required yung mga company o mga planta, manufacturing, basta engage sa mga toxic materials, no? Nire-required sila na magkaroon ng PCO or Pollution Control Officer, no? So, yun lang. Ang nangyayari minsan, kung sino yung assigned safety officer doon sa company or planta na yun, siya rin yung PCO. Pero dapat yung pinaka-advise po natin, kami po sa DOLE, dapat separate person, no? Unless na lang kaya mo talaga yung dalawang trabaho as PCO or safety officer, no? Pero alam ko sa una lang yan, kung kakayanin mo ngayon, hindi magtatagal, magrereklamo ka na, especially sa HR ninyo, ang dami ko ng trabaho as PCO and at the same time, as safety officer, no? Kaya nga, we advise separate person, yung assigned safety officer at saka yung assigned PCO. Kasi sa sa pagiging safety officer mo pa lang na assignment, minsan parang nahihirapan na talaga tayo, no? Especially in preparing reports, no? OS reports at saka submission of reports, no? Under naman sa social and accountability programs, dito na papasok yung policy on gender natin, no? May gender equality na tayo, no? For female and male. At saka yun nga, accept na rin ng society natin even though wala pa tayong kaukulang batas regarding sa LGBTQ+++, no? Pero accept na yung nung society natin na meron na talagang mga gender na ganito, no? So dapat meron tayong policy on gender for that, no? Meron na tayong for male and female at saka LGBTQ, no? Policy on child labor, siguro hindi naman tayo nag-employ ng below 18, especially yung kino-consider na high-risk establishment like construction, manufacturing, planta, wala dapat na worker na below 18 years old, no? Kasi makakasuhan tayo ng child labor. Policy on PWDs, no? Sa inyo bang companies o workplace, meron bang mga PWDs na mga workers doon? No? If meron man, meron tayo dapat policy on PWDs. Anyway, these PWDs, no, or tinatawag natin persons with disabilities. Supposed to be, if nagtatrabaho yung PWD na yon, hindi na PWD yung tawag sa kanya. Supposed to be, ang tawag doon is PWLA. Ano ba yung PWLA? Persons with limited working abilities, no? Limited lang ang working ability nila pero hindi sila disabled kasi nga nakapagtatrabaho pa sila di ba? No? And also kalakip din dito sa social accountability programs natin, other corporate social responsibilities, no? Or programs like itong mga harassment in the workplace, no? Kalakip din 'yan. But anyway, mamaya may ibibigay tayo na link niya, doon nyo i-upload yung mga doon nyo i-download yung mga programs na to, including the harassment in the workplace, no? And child labor, no? Meron pang drug abuse, meron pang tuberculosis, hepatitis, lahat ng programs, no? Tinulungan na kayo ni Dole na gumawa ng mga programs na yun. Actually, andun na. Pwede nyo na lang kopyahin. Capacity building on OSH, no? Again, siguro tapos na tayo lecture ng topic, no, regarding the TOT or trainers training. But no? Ngayon, dati yung ano na yan, yung topic na yan, hindi yan binibigay. No, special topic yan like sa amin, kami yung mga nagle-lecture during training, ang TOT or trainers training, 24 hours training po yan. Sa amin pong mga mga nag-speaker dito sa mga training na to. But sa inyo, kasi nga under this DO 198, no, which is the IRR Republic Act 11058, commonly known as Oslo, andun may provision doon na lahat ng mga workers na andun sa working site o andun sa company dapat naka-undergo ng 8 hours OSH orientation to workers. Again, lahat ng workers, no? At sino yung magte-train o mag-orient sa kanila? Kayo yun as assigned safety officer ng company na yun. Pagbalik nyo sa mga respective ninyo na companies or workplaces, kayo yung magpe-prepare ng inyong mga presentations, topics to be discussed under this mandatory 8 hours OSH orientation to workers. Kaya nga, meron na tayong topic in every training na TOT. Kaya lang 2 hours lang yun, but tinitrain kayo for the na kayo din yung mag-orient pagbalik ninyo sa mga offices ninyo, yung mga co-workers ninyo dapat na undergo lahat sa 8 hours OSH orientation to workers. Anyway, yun nga, yung mga ibang participants is andito sa training na to, hindi naman mabilis mag-speak in front of many people or the participants, no? Minsan nga meron na tayong nervous, especially if may stage fright ka kumbaga, no? Hindi pa natin kaya talaga mag-speak in front of our co-workers, but may provision naman doon sa DO 198 natin. Kung hindi pa kayang mag-conduct ng mandatory 8 hours OSH orientation ni assigned safety officer, the company may hire yung itong mga accredited OSH practitioner natin at accredited OSH consultant na sila po yung mag-conduct ng mandatory 8 hours OSH orientation to workers, sa lahat ng mga workers doon sa workplace ninyo, kasi nga it is required na under this DO 198 na lahat ng mga workers is naka-undergo ng 8 hours OSH orientation to workers. At kayo naman as a science safety officer, ito na yung boss training ninyo or 40 hours na training. Automatic, you will become a safety officer to kasi ang nire-required lang na SO1 or safety officer 1, yun ay 10 hours training lang. Sa inyo is 40 hours, no? Kayong mga safety officer to assigned in your respective establishment or companies. Now, why evaluate a program? Bakit natin kailangan i-evaluate yung mga OSH program natin? Know if changes or revision are necessary. Check the areas that have to be prioritized and monitor the performance of the program. No? Ano yung pinaka-hint natin para masabi natin na dapat na nating i-revise or i-change itong specific natin na provision under the OSH program? Isa lang yung tandaan natin. If may nangyaring accident, even if it is just a minor accident or minor injuries, yun na yung pinaka-hint natin na hindi na effective yung HIRAC natin na yun. So dapat na nating i-change or i-revise yung specific provision for that particular work if for that work na may nangyari ng accident or even minor injuries. Okay? Now, sino ang pwedeng mag-conduct ng evaluation? Si safety officer lang ba? Pwede rin si safety consultant, no? Pag may ni-retainers na ang yung company ng safety or safety practitioner or consultant, pwede rin silang mag-evaluate. But lahat pwedeng mag-evaluate. Not only the safety officer or even just a supervisor, manager ninyo, no, pwedeng mag-evaluate as long as meron tayong kino-consider na qualifications, no? Merong interest, no? Expertise, experience, analytical ability and of course, ang pinaka-importante din communication skills, especially when making reports, no? Written communication skills, no? In preparing mga OSH reports natin, no? Lahat pwedeng pwedeng mag-conduct ng evaluation as long as may training, may expertise, and may experience on how to conduct the evaluation. Again, program effectiveness, malalaman lang natin if the number of accidents and injuries are trending downward. Bumababa na po yung records ng mga accidents, injuries doon sa ating workplace. Saan natin to nakikita? In the submission of EEDR, no? Or the Annual Exposure Data Report na yearly niyan sinasubmit kasi doon nyo nakikita ang trend ng accident by computing the severity and frequency rate doon sa ating workplace, no? Cause of accidents and injuries is trending downward. Bumababa na rin yung cost when it comes to accidents and injuries in the workplace. And time lost due to work-related injuries or illness is also reduced. Now, ang tanong, no? Ready na ba tayong mag-prepare or mag-create ng ating respective companies OS program? Yun yung pinakatanong. Again, nasabi ko na kanina, na after this training is hindi na kayo mahirapang gumawa ng safety and health program. Pero tandaan din natin, during the conduct of inspection, if na-found out ni inspector na wala kayong OS program, ang mangyayari is bibigyan lang kayo ng remediation period. After the remediation period and still we cannot comply those violations, especially ang pagkakaroon nitong OS program, the penalty for walang OS program is 40,000 per day, no? After the remediation period. Tandaan po natin 'yan. But anyway, yun nga, matulungin naman si Dole, developmental naman yung approach natin na tutulungan natin in case na may mga non-compliances on OS, no? Ang mga companies, kaya nagbigay na tayo ng template for OS program. Ang gagawin nyo na lang is, i-download yung template na yon, naka-word na yon, i-change nyo na lang yung mga basic information, but see to it na i-review nyo rin yung mga provisions na doon sa OS program na yon, na lahat ng mga provisions na doon is applicable doon sa workplace ninyo. If hindi applicable sa workplace ninyo, i-delete nyo at saka i-edit nyo na lang yung OS program na yun na pwede nyo rin after na ma-fill up ninyo, i-submit sa DOLE office. Yun na yung pinaka-compliance natin para sa OS program natin. Ito po yung website. No? Andito pwede nyong i-download ang OS program. Lahat ng mga reports, no? WAIR, Work Accident Illness Report, Annual Medical Report, EEDR, no? Andin yung sinasabi ko kanina ng mga programs, no? Harassment, drug abuse, no? Ang ang tuberculosis, hepatitis, andun din yun aside from the OS program, no? Andito na sa sa website na to, na lang, screenshot na lang. Okay? Oh, now, successful safety and health program. Unless an organization has a written, well-defined systematic safety plan in which everyone in the organization logically understand the rules and responsibilities, all of the hard work, all of the expense, and all of the hopes for successful program will be for nothing. Ibig sabihin, kapag nagkausap-usap lang tayo or nagkaintindihan lang tayo in making this safety and health program, mawawala ding visa or not applicable din if hindi natin put it into writing through this making of OS program and to be submitted sa OS DOLE kasi ini-evaluate yan ni DOLE. Anyway, ini-evaluate lang ni DOLE. Pero when it comes to occupational safety and health standard in the construction industry, may nire-required talaga na prior to the construction, magpa-approve sa kay DOLE yung tinatawag na construction safety and health program. Pinapa-approve yun sa DOLE. Sinasubmit ng establishment para i-approve, i-evaluate and i-approve ni DOLE. No? Sa construction yun. But dito, kung hindi naman tayo engaged sa construction industry, submit lang po kayo ng safety and health program, i-evaluate yan ni DOLE at i-inform kayo ni DOLE, no? Or ng evaluator if in case may mga dapat tayong i-revise or i-change doon sa ating OS program na sinubmit sa DOLE office. Okay? Oh, tapos na tayo. Oh, yan. Have a great day, no? So, isang topic pa lang yung natapos natin, itong OS programming. Siguro naman, hindi na tayo mahihirapan, no? Within this month, after this training, no? Makapag-submit na tayo ng respective na OS program natin dun sa mga establishment na wala pang OS program. So, mag-submit na po tayo. Huwag na po natin hintayin pang may inspection po tayo ng DOLE, no? Kasi nga, maghintay lang kami ng remediation period, no? After the remediation period, yung OS violations nyo, hindi nyo pa na-comply, doon na mamaya ang i-discuss natin na penalty papasok. Okay? So, anyway, napagkasunduan na natin kanina na magbibigay lang tayo ng 10 minutes break. And after this break, proceed na tayo sa OS legislation. And after the OS legislation, doon na po tayo mag-cater po ng mga queries and question regarding these two topics, the OS program and the OS legislation. Okay? Sir Martin?
Alright, so thank you so much po, Engineer. So before pa tayo proceed sa next topic ni Engineer, let's have 5 minutes are gonna make break. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.